Welcome to another Zen pop-up. So in this Zen pop-up, what we're going to talk about is using branding inside of Zenler. So I'm going to jump straight into the platform and show you the branding elements inside Zenler and how it all works. So hopefully it's really clear for you. Okay, let's jump into the site now. And here we are. We're in our regular Zen pop-up site. So I'm just going to duplicate this so that I can jump in and show you any changes that we've got. So I'm going to jump into the admin side. I just need to log out and log back in as a user, as the admin user. And here we go. So let's have a look first of all where branding is inside our site. So if we go to site and we go down on the left hand side, we're going to see a tab called branding. So inside here is where we can upload our logo. Okay, so you upload your logo inside there, and that's what appears at the top here. Okay, and we also have a fav icon here, which is also what appears here. You can see this little fav icon here. Normally that's square, so 512 by 512 pixels. Next we can select our font family inside here. So at the moment I've got mine all set to Poppins, which is our regular font that we use, but I could switch this over to something else. So if I go, for instance, and we check this site out, so see that how that looks there. So if we go into something like 𝗨𝗪𝗪𝗏, which is quite a different font, click save. You're going to see now if I refresh this page that the font types are going to change inside here. Do you notice that, how they change? So this is how that works. So if I put it to one of our standard ones like 𝗨𝗏𝗍𝗏, and I'll tend to use the same fonts that I use here inside the course player. So the course player is inside the platform, is inside the courses. You have your course player. So let me just go to the courses here, and this way I can show you. So the course player that you're seeing is the curriculum. So it's this, the course player, or the course curriculum. So it's this. So any changes that you make inside the branding for the course player is going to be inside that section, inside here. Yeah, just so it's clear for you. So let's just close that. So that's the branding for that. So that's covered this part of it. Next we got the colors. So background image, background color is for the background color. So let me just go here and show you quickly. Let me just refresh this to get it back to how it was. Okay, so background color for the header. If I was to choose a different color, I'm just going to save this color because I don't want to go away from it. So let's choose a different color there, just in that area. Click save, and let's click OK to that, and let's refresh this, and you're going to see it's going to change to this red color in a second once I've saved it. Also remember, when you're changing colors in this section, you need to save down here. Okay, that's what a lot of people forget. So now I'm going to refresh this page, and this is going to change to that color there. So I'll just put that back to what it was before. Something like that. Okay, so next we have link color. So this is link color is in here. This is this. Okay, so let me just change this to another color. So let's just change it to an orange inside here. I've got it set on white. By the way, you might have to click it in there and move it around a little bit. So I'm going to change the link color to orange. Now I'm going to save it. So let's have a look what happens now when I refresh the page. So this is all going to change to an orange color now. Do you see it changes to an orange? So now what about this? It's like an active link. So it's changing to white. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to change this back to white again. So I'm changing things back as I'm working. So link hover color. Let's change this to a red this time. So this is link hover color. Okay, let's click save. Let's go back in here. Let's hit the refresh button. And let's check it now. They'll change to red. See? So they changed to red in there. You can see that in there. I'm going to just change this back to a white. Text color. If you've got any text inside here, it will save it. So if you're not using like an image and you've got text inside here, it will change the text color in the header. So remember, when I'm talking about the header, I'm only talking about this area inside here. Okay, so once we've got button color, if there's button colors, if you've got a button in there, that will change the button color. That will change the button hover color like we did for the link color. And also if you want a button border color, something going around the outside, that will change that. Then you've got the button text color. So you normally make sure the button color, which is white in this case, the button text color is a contrasting color, in this case black, and same for the button hover color, which goes black, and then the button hover text color goes white, so it just flicks round the opposite way. So make sure those two are contrasting against each other. If you have black and black, you're not going to see anything in the box. The text will still be there, but you won't see it. That's a big thing that people have trouble with. So if I go down to the footer now, I'm just going to save this out before I drop down to the footer. The footer is this area in here. So if you scroll down the bottom, that's this area inside here. Okay, so again, like everything else, I've got mine set on black and white here, but if I put this to red, if I change this to a red as well for link, and I change this to a blue for, say, something like the link hover, and I'll leave the text color the same. So you're going to see a few things happen here now with this. Going to change to a red background. You're not going to see the text because I've put the same color, so I just wanted to show you that. So let's just refresh this now, and you're not going to see any text down the bottom. Look, it's disappeared, and the reason it's disappeared, except if I hover it goes blue, because this link hover color is blue. So if I was using a color like this, I'd make sure that I'm hitting a white so that it shows up on that background. So now I refresh this, and you can see it's changed to white and it changed to blue in there. So all very easy to work with. I'm going to change this black, so we'll just do this back to what it was before, and I'll just change that to a grey, something like that. Again, you've got the button color, button hover color, button border, button text, button hover text color, if you add buttons and things inside that area, or if there are buttons inside that area. Okay, so let me just refresh this now, and you're going to see this will change back to what it was before. And there we go, we got our dark icons on there. By the way, how do we change those? So if we go into our text color, you're going to see that the text color in here will change the text color in there, but as it's changed text, because that's just text. All right, so let's go and change, and I think it's working on the link color. So if I change this link color, let me just put that text color to gray. So if I put that link color, because those icons at the bottom are links here, so it now should change to red. So here we go, so they've changed to red. Okay, and they've changed to gray because that's the hover color for it. Yeah, footer hover color gray. Yeah, so that makes sense in there. Let's change that back and just save it. So let's move on to the course curriculum. So this is a place that people sometimes have trouble, because they're like, oh, my button color and link color are different colors. So you just need to change these curriculums. So I'm actually going to show you so that you can see it in action. Let me just open a new tab here and go into the course. Let me go into the other course. Let me go into this one here. Let's just go to the curriculum player. Okay, here's the curriculum player here. So we're going to do some changes in here, and it will be echoed across. So let's go to the curriculum color. Let's just change this to a red. Let's change the link color to like a purple inside there. Let's change the text color to a blue. So I've got a lot of different stuff going on here, or a green. Okay, so now let me click save, and then you're going to see these changes in the curriculum, and you can play around with this just like I'm doing. You can play around. So I'm now just refreshing this, and you can see the top has gone to a red with this text gone into this greeny type funny color, and this has gone into a red here, and these all highlight in red now. So if we look at what's happening in here, this is red, this is kind of that pinky color, and this is that green color, which you can see inside here, that green color for text. Yeah, so text color's green. So you want to make sure that these colors are contrasting. So I put white because the background color is going to be like that, so it will show up a bit clearer. So if I go in this now and refresh it, this will be white up the top here. So you can see how that works. So you can make sure that your branding is all correct for this stuff as you're putting it in there. Let me just change this to a better blue, and I'll do the link color as a slight gray. Not quite that gray, but something like that. And I click save, and that will be much more presentable once I click refresh. Okay, so now we got this in blue, and it's nice and blue at the top. And the next lesson is also blue because that takes its name from the background color of the blue in there. You see, this is something that people have problems with as well. They sometimes change it to the same color, link color, and it doesn't show. So if I change this to this color here and saved it, and we go back in this now and refresh it, this will change inside here. So you've got that general theme running through it all. Notice the little shadow has changed as well, but it echoes through all the pages that you see. So if I put the text page in there, the text page is independent, by the way. You can set the colors up inside the text media type. So that's how you can do that. So that is the course player. So let me just change that back to something like that and change all these to white. I tend to keep all mine very neutral. It just always looks good then. Let's refresh that now and bang. There we go. So we got that nice color going on in there. They're all changing to a nice gray, and it's nice and clear at the top. So that is the branding for that. So page background color, link and border color. So we're going to flick back to the page again, and we're going to have a look at what happens when we change these. So I'm going to go for page background color, and I'm going to choose a red, and we're going to hit save and just see what happens inside the site. So I'm just refreshing this, and you can't see anything at the moment because I think some of the blocks are in there. It should change that page. This will move me on to something else that I need to say. You can see the background color has changed there. It's only because some of those blocks I put colors in so you couldn't see it. So it's giving you the page background color inside there. So again, I tend to leave that on white, and link button color and border color again is running from that. Okay. So next for the blog, we got a blog color theme for the interface. So we do actually, I think we've got a blog in here set up. We might not have a blog, but that changes the default of the blog color, so you can just play around with that. So understand how that works. Okay, so now we've done that, we're going to see what happens when we go into the pages, because you can override it. So once you've set your branding out and you've checked to make sure it all looks nice, you can go into the pages and you can edit them. The thing is, you can override the branding settings, and that's what confuses people, because they don't have it on the branding. They change it to some other font type like Pacifico, and it shows up, and they're like, why doesn't it on my branding? I've got it as 𝗨𝗏𝗍 and thing, but it's not showing up as that on the page. It's basically because you've manually overridden it. So I'm going to show you what happens with the blocks and why these things occur. So I'm going to add a new page just to show you, which I could call branding here. And this will make it clear, hopefully, with what I'm trying to get across. So I've got this new page, it's called branding. Let me close the other pages down quickly and open this page up here, and we'll see. So you can set a block up, and if you don't really touch it too much, it will maintain the branding colors that you've got. So if I was to go in, add a row, and then I was to go in here and add a heading, something like that, and we just call this is a heading. I'm not going to spend too long showing you about this, because you just need to understand the principles of it. Okay, so this is a heading. Let's put some copy text down here. Drop that in, and we'll drop a button in just because I want to show you what happens with a button. So by the button's already got its own default formatting, but if I save this page and we preview it, what's going to happen here, because I haven't touched anything in the settings, is it will maintain this font that you've got in your site, but you can override it. So if you were to go into the settings for this, you want to make sure that apply branding is on, because at the moment, right, if we go in here and we change this, I'm going to change it to a font that we haven't got anywhere else. I'm going to go for Pacifico just because it shows like this, and I'll actually change the, let's make this, okay, so let's just save that. So let's just go in here now and refresh this page. So straight away we've broken the branding because we've used Pacifico and we chose Railway and 𝗨𝗏𝗏, I think. So how can we get this back? So one is you can go in here and you can select the same font that you've used for the branding, or you can click the actual box and just click in here, apply branding in here, and it will apply branding to these, but it won't apply it to stuff that you've overridden. So if we go in here now and we refresh this, you're going to see this changes. So you've got to be careful when you're applying this branding because it will change things about. So if I go into the font here and we'll just go up here and just choose default. Now if it's on default and we save it, it will save it in the same default thing, but you can, like I said, it can be overridden. So now it's gone back into what it should be and it's not being overridden. So that's how that works. Now inside all of the pages, when you first set them up, if you see under page settings, under editor preferences, you're going to have apply branding on by default inside here. Okay, but this is like, that's what it should be. It's on by default, but it can be overridden per block. So per blue block, you can turn it off and on inside here. And you'll notice when I turn it off and on, this is a default style. And then if I turn it on, it will go bang into what it should be based on the branding. So that's how that works. So you need to be careful that you're not changing your font type and overriding the default branding that's in there by changing inside here. So be wary of that. Now this makes a big difference when you start to use some of our pre-made blocks that are in here. Because if I go to something like a call to action block and I come down and pick one of these and I grab it and I put it into here, what's going to happen is it's all going to go kind of like this. So what's going on? Why has it gone like this? Because it's applied the branding to it. It's applied the branding. Remember, you set the branding, you set the text color as this gray. You set this stuff yourself. So it's going, right, okay, that's the block, but you want your branding applied to it because you've got it turned on in here. Yeah. And also if you click the block itself, because this is default, apply branding's on. So it's applying the branding from the branding area and it's putting it on the block, which is kind of cool if you think about it, but it's not exactly how the block looked when you looked at it inside of the block previews. So you can easily get it back to what it looks like in the block preview by clicking the little settings icon and clicking apply branding. Bang, it comes back. The problem is when you turn that off, that font will now no longer be the font that your branding is. So you have to make that choice. You might have to go in there if you want to keep it in that style, go in there and then change the font in here, or you might have to just apply your branding and just do some color tweaks. So I would come into here, so I've applied my branding, I would come in here and just make some color tweaks on this. So I would change this to white, which you probably would do anyway inside here. And then of course we've got the button, which we had in that kind of greeny color. So I could come down here, notice it's in the green color, but because the branding is applied on the button, it will change it. So I need to go in there and just change this manually myself inside here, something like that, and then click save, and then it's fine. I can preview this. So if I preview this page now, you can see that it's come up there and it's all nice inside here. So that is how branding works inside the site. So you've got that branding section, you've got inside the page builder, and this is in lots of places where the page builder, in all the places that the page builder is used in Zenler. So that's like for your funnels as well, yeah, for any of the pages that you build in the live sections and those sort of things, that is in there as well. So just understand how that works, that you've got this, is taking the branding colors from branding in there, apply branding styles on blocks and elements, okay? And you've also got this sub one where if you add one of these blocks and want to override it, so if I drop another one in here, it's going to go dunk dunk back to what it was, and you'll need to come in here and you'll need to either turn off the branding from the site, or you'll need to keep it on. And what I do is just change the colors over. So I just go in and change the colors myself. So I always keep it off, and then I just go quickly through it because it only takes a few seconds, and then you've got that style all selected for you, which is all very nice. So that's how you can do it. So that is a little bit about how the branding works inside there. So that should cover you on everything you need to know about branding and how it works inside of Zenler.